This is the second video in my Peloton series. Should you get a hack? How do you hack it? Pros and cons of getting a hack. These are the things I've covered so far, and in this video, we're going to be discussing the pros and cons of getting a Peloton hack as opposed to just actually investing in the bike. And if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then you know what to do. Keep watching. That's the thing. That was clear, right? Hey guys, certified nutritionist Samantha Souza here, and in my last video in this series, I covered how exactly I hacked a Peloton and my general tips and suggestions on what you should look for in a bike if you are planning on embarking on a Peloton hack journey of your own. That video is full of amazing information, so do yourself a favor and go back and watch that video, or just make sure that you watch it after this one. Either way, doesn't really matter. But today we're going to be talking about the in-depth pros and cons in my Peloton experience so far, 2.5 weeks or so with the bike, as well as my general feelings on whether or not I think I will be getting a Peloton eventually or not, etc. I will be doing more videos in this Peloton hack series, so make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for any future videos in terms of nutrition, fitness, etc., everything here on my channel. So make sure you do that. Did you do it? All right, let's get into the video. Just so you know, I did film this portion of the video on a different day, so if I look a little bit different and a little bit less like a avid Schitt's Creek fan, then that's why. Let's do it. Let's talk about the difference between the Peloton and the hack in terms of the experience, pros and cons, etc. So one thing that this bike does not come with is clip-in pedals. Now, the Peloton, I believe, comes with a clip-in pedal where you have to buy the shoes separately for $100. It doesn't come with it, even with that crazy price tag, so that you can clip in. So they're spinning shoes, and then you really are connected to the bike. Now this just has your standard sort of cage pedal system. I don't see any issue with that. I'm totally comfortable with that. I make it super tight. I never feel like I'm not connected to the bike, but some people prefer that clip-in feel. So if that's you, and you know you like that, you can always buy a different set of pedals and attach those to this bike and use your own sort of cycling shoes if you like. That's totally an option. So that's a difference. Another difference is that this doesn't have any sort of holder for your iPad or anything like that, because it's not necessarily designed for that. Some other brands of Sunny bikes do have and automatically come with something like that. This one just doesn't. Again, I bought one on Amazon for like $4.50. It's really no big deal. Plus I knew I would be using my TV, so it was kind of a non-issue, but it really depends on your situation. Now the Peloton obviously has that giant screen, and depending on which you get, the regular Peloton or the Bike Plus, it's a slightly bigger screen, and the Bike Plus swivels, which is cool, I guess, but that's so if you want to use other sort of classes, or you're wanting to do like a yoga class or a stretching class or a toning class or a strength class, you can turn your screen so that you are actually able to do that without standing directly next to your bike, because the other screen is just stuck there. To me, because I'm doing it on my big TV and I have all this space, that's a huge pro, because I have way more space even than I would with the most expensive Peloton, where it's still just this big of a screen. So what's the point really? The other difference is that this bike has no digital tracking system whatsoever. I had to do the addition of the cadence sensor on there, and you cannot really track your resistance on this bike. And it's kind of frustrating when your Peloton teacher is calling out a potential resistance that you should be aiming for, and you really have no idea if you're there or not. Now over time, this becomes a lot easier to sort of intuitively know what you're doing and at least gauge your effort to what's happening in the class. And I'll tell you sort of how I do that, because there is no way. On the Peloton, when you move the resistance, it tells you the number correlating to the bike. I think what makes Peloton special is this whole integration system between cadence and resistance and then your output number. You don't really have that when you're doing the hack, but that's going to be up to each person how important that really is. So what I do is, because the cadence to me is the most important aspect of gauging sort of where I'm at and what my goals are in the moment when I'm in the class, as long as the cadence, if the cadence feels difficult to keep up what they're calling out, then maybe I'm at the right resistance if they're saying that this should be hard. If the teacher is saying, you should be pumping, you should be having a hard time, then I can see, okay, am I able to keep up this cadence number at this resistance? Is this too easy? Maybe I'll make it harder. Now, the amount of turns I feel like on the Sunny bike for about a 5, you know, if they say up your resistance 1 to 5, it's a slight little turn for me. A quarter turn in my experience is around 5, a change of 5 in terms of resistance. And then if I want a full 10 change, I do a full turn. Again, I'm fully guessing, but by doing it this way, I tend to feel like I'm right in line with what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I can keep the cadence too easily, I make the resistance harder. If I feel like the flywheel is taking me with it, I make the resistance harder. If it feels way too difficult, then I lessen the resistance, and I try to just gauge it off of my experience on the total resistance on the bike. What you can do is just turn it to the absolute max resistance, see what that feels like, turn it to absolutely no resistance, see what that feels like, and then you can gauge what your 50% is when they call out 50% resistance. Make sense? It's not that hard. The cadence is really what's gonna tell you if you're where you need to be or not and help you gauge. And luckily that's the thing that you can incorporate very easily on any spin bike by buying the sensor. The other thing is the Wahoo sensor comes with an app that you use, and then it lets me save or send my workout to my health app on my phone, to another outside app like Strava. A lot of runners and cyclists use that app to sort of track their rides. And the other thing is I wear a Fitbit all the time. So what I do is right before I start my workout, I start on my Fitbit. I tell it I'm about to go on a bike ride, and so it kind of tracks it and keeps it all together for me there as well. So there are other ways that you can connect all these different apps to the Peloton app. I just don't find the need for it, but it is possible, so you can really feel integrated. I love it. And what's great is even though you don't have the Peloton bike, when you're using the Peloton app and you do a workout, it does still track it on your calendar. So it's really, really easy to feel like you're getting the full experience, to be honest. Some pros and cons that you might want to consider if you're debating trying to hack your Peloton. The pros, obviously, it's a lot cheaper. Secondly, I don't feel like you lose out on the experience all that much. Third, I have the benefit of having it on a huge TV, so I'm not paying for something I don't need, like the screen that's right in front of you. The negatives are, depending on if you're the kind of person who really thrives on having that leaderboard, who really wants to know down to the wire what their resistance is, what their output is. If you're somebody who does better because you're in competition with others, that is something that you can maybe have a little bit of FOMO about. That's the worst case scenario of it for me though, honestly, is like when they're calling out, so-and-so, congratulations on your 500th ride. That's never gonna happen for me because I'm not connected to the system. But I'm getting all enough information for me to feel like I'm getting an amazing workout, and is it worth spending another $1,500, at least $2,500 potentially, just to be on the leaderboard? That's something that you have to decide. The other thing is the new Peloton Plus bike changes the resistance for you automatically depending on the class. That's pretty cool. But to me, again, is that worth $1,500 to $2,500? In my experience, no. The only negatives are just that you don't know the resistance, you don't know your output, and you can't be on the leaderboard. But you're on your own leaderboard, you can see your calendar, you're hitting it every day or not. I still feel the sense of accomplishment. I feel like I'm getting the same style of workout, and I feel like the benefits. I really thought going into this that I would get a Peloton eventually because I loved cycling so much. But so far, I'm starting to think that I don't really see a lot of the benefit, but again, stay tuned to the series and make sure you're subscribed to see if my mind changes or not. But those are sort of, I think, all of the positives and negatives of having the hack. I don't regret it. It's one of the best things I've done for myself in a really long time. The classes are incredible and you have the access to them for actually cheaper not having the bike. This is the thing I can never understand. It's $13 a month if you don't have the bike, and it's $39 a month if you do. That's a pro. I absolutely love my Sunny B002. I cannot get enough of it. I truly feel sore all the time because I'm doing the strength workouts as well as the bike workouts. I'm not just cycling. There's meditation, there's stretching. I will do a separate video also about my review of the Peloton app in general, if you need it, if you don't have a spin bike, etc. There's so many workout videos and programs out there that it's important, I think, to analyze that as well. Hopefully this helped you. Let me know what more information you possibly could want to know about my cycling journey, my Peloton hack journey, and I'd be happy to make subsequent videos to add to this series. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what your experience is with the Peloton universe, if you want one, if you're going to consider buying and trying to do this hack. I hope that it helps you on your journey. Don't forget, if you're somebody trying to figure out how to end the cycle of yo-yo dieting for good, don't forget to register for my free training down below because I want to help you do that. Now that you've done this one, go watch my weight loss journey video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.